So let's talk about what my morning routine looks like. So my morning routine looks like my alarm goes off at 6 o'clock and I tend to get up within a few minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, I've gone through phases where at one point earlier on in lockdown I was snoozing for about half an hour and I then was always on the back foot, even though I'd still put my morning routine in, but it meant I was rushing to get to be totally ready for my call at 9:30 that starts my day off with my team. And quite often I was end up like eating my breakfast on this call and it just wasn't good. You know, that's not good. So I made the conscious effort, get up, the alarm goes off, get out of bed. And it's weird, I told my brain that that's what I was going to do. I went to sleep on Sunday nights and on the Monday morning the alarm went off and I got out of bed. I just got up, got on with my day. So I get up and then for me I either get dressed into PT kit or get just dressed depending on what my kind of activity, like workout schedule looks like for the day. Because we've talked about that, guys, haven't we, in lesson 5, your health, working out, moving your body every single day. So get dressed, head downstairs, do my teeth, have a cup of tea, and get myself sat down at my table. And I then go through the key things that I think are fundamental and I have run through with you in different lessons, but I bring them all together and I make them work for me. So I sit down and I do my gratitude. I write an entire page of my gratitude, things I'm grateful for in the previous 24 hours. And I sit there and some days it's super easy and I like rattle it off. Some days it's really hard and I like have to really, go back through that day bit by bit, moment by moment and find those things that I'm grateful for. But remember, it's about looking for the small things. So I've done that and I start to feel, I feel so grateful to be alive and awake and, having that time. So I'm feeling pretty good. And then I sit down and I write down my I am statement. So I just have a bog standard notebook, but we actually have designed a journal to help you with this, which I'm really, really excited about. So you write down your gratitude. And then I write down my I am statements. Now, we went through I am statements in lesson 2. Guys, if you haven't done it, what have I talked about in terms of the narrative in your brain? You are in control of the narrative in your brain. And if the narrative in your brain is not the narrative that you want to be telling yourself, then you need to rewrite that narrative. And one of the most straightforward ways to do that, a starting point to work from with that, is doing I am statements. You may have done them and you've got them stuck up, brilliant, but I want you to now take it up a level. I want you to write down those I am statements every single day. So you write down your gratitude, then you write down your I am statements, and then you write down your 8 dreams and the one dream that you're going to focus on first. So those were covered, the 8 dreams were covered in the Where Are You Going lesson, which was last week's lesson. So that was lesson 6. If you haven't done it, it's really hard. It's going to challenge you. It's going to force you to spend time thinking about your dreams, thinking about what you want to achieve in your life. So if you haven't done it, go and do it. You need to have done these things so that you can implement your morning routine. And then you write down those 8 dreams, that you remember the top 8 that you've got, and you write them down as if you have already achieved them. And then you rewrite the last one, you rewrite the one that you want to achieve first again at the bottom, okay? So you've written that dream out twice. The point is, when we write things down, we are 5 times more likely to retain that piece of knowledge or that belief. And that's how we start training ourselves to change the narrative in our brain and move towards those things. So our subconscious is a super powerful and predominantly untapped tool that we have. And when we're telling our subconscious, which is what you're doing when you're writing these things down and when you're writing your dreams down, however audacious and out there and unrealistic they might seem, your subconscious will be figuring out how to get there. Okay, so you're going to write those down every day. That's what I do. So I write down my gratitude, my I am statements, and then my dreams. And then I plan out my day. So I use a planner. Obviously, mine is, for me, that's my work and I'm working. I don't tend to plan my weekends or my off time, but I do plan my work days, and that really helps me get structure. It helps me think about what I've got going on in the day. But you can definitely use that. You could do that with, if you are back in school, or you can do that with university. You can even do that on normal days, just to kind of put that structure in about when you're going to do your workout, when are you going to call your friend, when are you going to bake so-and-so's birthday cake, when are you going to do that study that you need to do. And when we put it into a structure, it really helps us stick to it. So therefore we go through our day feeling more productive and feeling like we've achieved more, because we've set expectations for ourselves that we can achieve. You know, when you get to the end of the day and you like, I haven't done anything, and there are all these things in your mind, because you haven't written them down and tried to order them, you didn't get there. They just didn't get done. They didn't kind of take off any importance. And then the last thing that I do as part of my morning routine is I work out. Now I work out pretty much every morning, because for me that is when I feel best to work out. I get really I'm a morning person, but I get really tired in the evenings, and so working out kind of post work just sometimes I do, but isn't typically my default and favourite time. So that's what you have to do. Work out what works for you, because remember, we're all individual, and what works for me might not work for you. So I do my workout, and I either do, at the moment, I either do a home workout or I go on a run, and then if I've done a home workout, I'll take the dog out as well. So that's what it looks like. And then I come back, eat a healthy breakfast, crack on with my day. But the fact is, when you have a really good morning routine, you've achieved something then, even if you achieve nothing else. It's like we talk about in lesson 1 about making your bed. When you make your bed at the beginning of the day, and even if the rest of your day goes down the pan and is totally terrible and a complete write-off, you achieved something. And that's the same thing with your morning routine.